Shalom. All praises go to the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahshua, Ba'ashem Adawakadash. Double honors unto the elder apostle, great millstone for the teachings of the scriptures, among other things. Shalom to the sincere Akim across the world. I came across a video today, actually, as I was looking up stuff, just checking out stuff. And this is the video. It was from ISUPK, but it's actually from 2013, so it's 12 years ago, right? And this is what they said concerning the mark of the beast. But that shows you that certain people shouldn't be in the position of teaching others. And they kept this video up. That means they still believe in it. So it says right here, it shows right here.
And understanding, count the number of the beast. For it is the number of a man. Of a man. Go ahead. And the number is 603 and 6. What they're talking about? They're talking about the 666 Edomites that are ruling this earth right now.
I'll put the link in the description box so you can check it out for yourself. He said 663 Edomites that are ruling the world. That's what he's talking about. He's talking about that the mark of the beast 666 is talking about 366 Edomites that are ruling the world right now. Wow. Certain people have no business teaching the scriptures, man. The Most High ain't dealing with him. Off of that alone. 363 Edomites that rule the world. Damn. Well, that's funny. That's anyway, Revelation chapter. So we in the time right now, man, where either how Ba'ashem Yahshua is going, he's going to take away the name like he does with everybody else, or he's just going, people are just going to be bugged out or something like that. Standing on the corner claiming all nations can make it on the salvation tip. But anyway, let me go. So the Most High, he brought this word through time and space in order to give it to the Jacob descendants, man. He went through time and space to do that. Fire, wind, earthquake, and cold. Basically to the elements, but I'll get to that with a few scriptures. But anyway, Revelation 13 and 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So if you don't worship the image of the beast, then they're gonna want to put you to death. And there's other scriptures concerning the image of the beast and stuff like that. It's almost just like how you have the image of I will make man in my likeness and our likeness and our image, which is basically a model on how to be, which is pertaining to their philosophies and all that type of stuff, holding hands with Esau or something like that, for example, as an example, but basically confirming yourself toward their philosophies. Verse 16. And he caused all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. You can't sell without these 666 Edomite males. And let me stop laughing at them. But anyway, here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 603 and 6. That's 666, right? You have a lot of these Edomites online with their username. They often have 666 in it. It used to be more. I don't really see that. Well, I still see it, but I mean, back in the days I used to see it nearly every day. An Edomite with a 666 in his username. But I see it a little bit less now. Now they're basically manifesting it without saying it in their username. But yeah, that mark of the beast is not talking about 666 Edomites ruling the world. Anyway, so let me go back to what I actually was thinking about talking about, right? Now you have this scripture that says here, Genesis chapter 6 verse 5. And the Most High saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth. As it is right now. That's why he's going to come back and he's going to send his son. But before his son comes, there's going to be turmoil upon the planet earth right here, man. You're going to have the Jacob descendants getting back to where they actually are supposed to be, which is in the midst of their own. The heathen nations are going to make sure they're going to do that. The Most High is going to make sure that the heathen nations are going to do that. Jeremiah 34 and 1, for example, is one example. Zechariah 4 and 3 on down. Well, 1, 2, 3 actually. Yeah, so going on. Verse 5, and the Most High saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. Just like you have it now. Just like back then. You know, it's increasingly getting toward it. And it repented me, wait, let me read it, what it says. And it repented the Most High that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. Now, this repent, it looks like he made a mistake and stuff like that. No, he's actually disappointed to a certain degree. But the other explanation, well, let me say this with first, right? It is like, where did I put that? He didn't make a mistake. Wait. Yeah, he didn't make a mistake as if he was changing his mind or as if he broke his promise. Right? But that's a worldly explanation. Let me get up in the scriptures concerning that explanation. Now it says right here, right? So it says Numbers chapter 23 verse 19. Yahweh is not a man that he should lie, nor the son of man that he should repent. Had he said, and shall he not do it? Or had he spoken, and shall he not make it good? So it looks like the two scriptures are contradicting one another, but it's not. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahashah with the full understanding, you're gonna see about it, right? If you go to Psalms 106 verse 43, it says, many times he delivered them, the Israelites, the Most High delivered us many times, right? But they provoked him with their counsel and were brought low for their iniquity. Nevertheless, he regarded their affliction when he heard their cry. And he remembered for them his covenant and repented according to the multitude of his mercies. So, here he repented according to the multitude of his mercies toward the Jacob descendants because he was looking at them like they can't help themselves. But then again, the Most High is the one that actually set up the Jacob descendants to actually have that fault within them, going all the way back to second Ezra chapter 3. But let me finish this off. So Psalms 106:46. He made them also to be pitied of all those that carried them captives. But in the book of Hosea, chapter 1, he took away that mercy that he put upon the heathen nations, and he basically let it go. But just like in the book of Zechariah 1:15, it says, but I was just a little displeased with the heathen, with the Israelites, and the heathen basically, they helped further the affliction. So they went overboard with it. The king of Assyria went overboard with it. Nebuchadnezzar, he turned on the Most High too, and then the Most High turned him into a beast. Just like how he did Esau, for example. Couldn't speak, nothing. And the same thing, what happened with Nebuchadnezzar was that great tree, right? Well, now America is that great tree that everybody wants to flock to. Not anymore, actually, compared to before Trumpy boy, you know, when he was in office and he did his little Edomite thing. But before that, you know, a lot of people wanted to go to America, and still this day they still want to go to America, but not as much as, you know, before Trumpy boy, right? Trumpy. Yeah. So okay, so it looks like the Most High repented, right? Well, as it is written, the Most High is the one that it's not like he didn't expect it, you know, because if you go to the book of Second Ezra, chapter 3, verse 19, and thy glory went through 4 gates of fire, and of earthquake, and of wind, and of cold, that thou mightest give the law unto the seed of Jacob, and diligence unto the generation of Israel. So the Most High basically went through time and space in order for him to actually give this book unto the Israelites, because it says right here, in the New Testament, if I'm correct, where is it again? Oh yeah, Galatians, yeah. So Galatians 3 and 16, it says, no, wait a minute. What am I doing? Oh, 3:19. So Galatians 3:19, it says, wherefore then serveth the law? It was added because of transgression. That's why we have the law, because of the mannerisms of man itself, you know, doing all kind of wickedness and stuff like that. And the Most High put laws in order for us to be godly, right? So it says right here, wherefore then serveth the law. So Galatians 3 and 19, wherefore then serveth the law? It was added because of transgressions, till the seed should come to whom the promise was made. That's another scripture that shows you that it's only for the Jacob descendants, because the promise was made only with Abraham. So it says again, so Galatians chapter 3 verse 19, till the seed should come to whom the promise was made. Genesis 17, the promise was made unto Abraham and his seed. Going on, and it was ordained by angels in the hand of a mediator, and that mediator was Moses. In the book of Exodus chapter 4, it explains that the Most High told Moses, what's his name? Aaron. The Most High told Moses to tell Moses, like, Aaron is your mouth, and then you are my mouth toward him. So basically the Most High is the mediator and to the children of Israel. So the Most High spoke to Moses as the mediator, the middleman, and then Moses spoke to Aaron, and then Aaron spoke to the people. Because it says that he was slow in speech, but if you read in the New Testament, it says that he was greatly an expert and stuff like that. He was vast in the knowledge of Mizraim and all that there, you know. That's because he wasn't really fluent in the Hebrew, just like, for example, with Paul in the book of Acts 22 or 21, where he started to speak Hebrew, and then all of a sudden they listened, they were silent. Acts 22 and 21, both of them. Well, the end of 21 and the beginning of 22. So he's that mediator that the angels actually brought that word toward, because if you go back, you see, like, oh yeah, because he was talking to the bush. Well, the angel stepped out of the bush and stuff like that. But he was talking to the Most High, right? And then basically, there 40 days and 40 nights, just like Elijah. He also went 40 days and 40 nights, and he went to Mount Horeb, which the Most High said, this is my mountain. Mount Horeb is Mount Sinai. By the way, I'll get to that later. So it says right here. So yeah. So that is the mediator. Now going back to. Wait, let me. Right, let me go back to 2nd Ezra chapter 3, verse 20. So I'm gonna read 19 again. And thy glory went to 4 gates of fire, and of earthquake, and of wind, and of cold, that thou mightest give the law unto the seed of Jacob, and diligence unto the generation of Israel. And yet tookest thou not away from them a wicked heart, that they might bring forth fruit in them. In what? In the laws. Because of the if you keep the laws, you will bring forth fruit, as it is written in Joshua chapter 1 verse 8. Joshua 1 and 8. If I'm correct, let me see. So Joshua chapter 1 verse 8. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. So, if we stayed up in Yahweh B'Shem Yahshua with the laws and the faith, by the way, then we would be prosperous. But nowadays, Jacob descendants, they measure prosperity with the fanciness. You got fancy stuff, then they say like, yeah, he made it, bro. Whatever. Yeah. Back to 2nd Ezra chapter 3, verse 21. Now, so 20, again 20. Yet tookest thou not away from them a wicked heart, that thy law might bring forth fruit in them. So, he went through time and space, because, he went to dimension. You got the first heaven, second heaven. The chariots came. Look, they couldn't open up portals, but yeah, he did it with the chariots and stuff like that. The chariot came down. Basically, the angel came there too and stuff like that. And he was the one that talked to Moses first. Just like 1 Kings chapter 19, when Elijah walked 40 days and 40 nights toward Mount Sinai, which is Mount Horeb, which is the mountain of the Heavenly Father. He went there, and then he said, yo, you on holy ground and stuff like that, And then, he did his thing, but I think I have it here somewhere. But anyway, so to time and space, and still we didn't keep the law. But the Most High kept that wickedness within us, because that's just how he set it up. And it's understandable, because in the physical form, you can kind of explain that too. So to add on to the spiritual reason, is his reason, by the way. But yeah, to add on to that, it's like this. When you see people grow up, right? So they're doing just normal things and stuff like that. It's not like they're doing bad, but they're doing normal, or maybe they're doing bad. But anyway, so and then that person starts to make it big and stuff like that, starts to get that income, and all of a sudden, and then he changes his life, goes and live amongst basically people that have it also, go away from the have-nots. And then that person start to make kids. You could say celebrities or something like that, right? Celebrities, because I'm thinking of a specific celebrity right now, which is Master P, for example. Got up out the hood, went up in the places, and then started to make children over there, and they started to grow up with a silver spoon or a gold spoon in their mouth. And then you see how they handle money. You're looking at it like this. He don't respect it, because he didn't struggle to get it. He didn't grow up in that environment. But my point of all that is to show you that that's a spoiled brat. Why? Because they grew up with a lot. So I would think that the Heavenly Father, he gave us everything, and then we was not content because we saw the wickedness of the heathens, so we wanted to do it too. Yeah. Ezekiel 16, just every wicked thing. Leviticus 18, Leviticus 20, all the wickedness that the Canaanites were doing, and the Philistines, which is Mizraim, all the wickedness that they were doing, all people wanted to do it too. It don't matter if that shit. They just wanted to do it too, and they didn't. And then the Most High broke us up, and then now as the Most High is raising us back up, so now we basically know both sides. We know the good, the godly, and then we know the bad. Just like how you have it in Genesis chapter 1 and 26, make man in our likeness. And then Genesis 3 and 22, talking about that. Now he knows good and wrong and good and bad and all that type of stuff. But the Most High blocked us from getting everything, because it is written that we should get it through the Lord Yahawashi. That is the reason why he blocked us there. Like, nah, you ain't getting more. You had enough. Now leave. You can't come back up in the garden, basically. Right. Verse 21. For the first Adam bearing a wicked heart transgressed and was overcome, and so be all they that are born of him. And we are all born of Adam through Adam, so to Adam, Noah, and then the eight, well, the three sons of Noah, the 8 people that were alive, which are the 3 sons of Noah. That's how. Verse 22. Thus infirmity was made permanent. That's because it's within you, right? And the law also in the heart of the people, with the malignity of the root. That's why you have a malignity which is tending to harm. You have that within you, right? Anger, whatever. All these type of things, right? So that the good part departed away, and the evil abode still. That's basically what the Most High is making us go through. We're going through all the evils that He said that we will go through. So now, when we ourselves are judged, that's in what's that again? Thousand times more. Wisdom of Solomon 12 and 22. Therefore, whereas thou chastened us, so the Most High chastened us, right? As in, so you have judgment unto correction, and you have judgment unto punishment. You know, the wicked deserve that punishment that they get, but the righteous, yeah, they are getting chin checked. Like, hey, don't do that again, or this is how you shouldn't be, and stuff like that. You know, so going on. Therefore, whereas thou dost chasten us, thou scourges our enemies 1,000 times more. So, and Esau is going to get it 2,000 times more. Why? Because the Most High say it in Revelation 18, if I'm correct. It says that double unto Babylon, double unto them according to them, double give them double as what they gave us. So that's 2,000. How about that? To the intent that when we judge, we should carefully think of thy goodness, and when we ourselves are judged, because the heathen nations are our judges. The things that they do, because the Most High say it in Isaiah 10 and 32, no, 10 and 5, sorry. It says that the rod in the Assyrian's hand is my indignation, my anger. So when he whip you upside the head, that's actually the Most High whipping you. But then, of course, if you read the full chapter, you get the understanding like, no, he went overboard with it. You know, he was really feeling himself while hitting. And the Most High told him, basically was like, hey, I didn't tell you to do that. And he destroyed them. He destroyed them so hard that the majority of the people of the planet Earth ain't talking about the Assyrian Empire no more. They're talking about the Empire of Mizraim. They're not, but they don't call them Mizraim, by the way. But they're still talking about it. Mizraim and stuff like that. But they're not talking about the Assyrian Empire. They're the bigger up, you know, the people that know stuff. They read and stuff like that. You know, they're talking about it, but I mean like mainstream. They ain't talking about it. Even the Chaldeans. They ain't talking about the Chaldeans no more. And the Most High wiped them off of the mind of the dummies, basically. But even the dummies know about Egypt and stuff like that. You know, ancient Egypt. So, anyway, so it says here, thou scourges our enemies 1,000 times more, to the intent that when we judge, we should carefully think of thy goodness, and when we ourselves are judged, we should look for mercy of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, and not of the mercy of the one doing it, because he's going to get his punishment, putting his hand on the how you call it, the apple of the Most High's eye, which are the Jacob descendants, the one that have been given the promise, as it is mentioned in. I just read it. Where was that? Where was it? Galatians, yeah. Galatians 3 and 19. Yeah. Right. Okay, yeah, to the one who the promise was made. The seed does that, you know, which is Chun, 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 chun. Abraham, right? Isaac and Jacob, the seed, basically. So, okay, so let me finish this off. Just to explain to you that the Most High didn't make a mistake. But anyway, let me see here. 2nd Ezra chapter 3, verse 22. Thus infirmity was made permanent, and the law also in the heart of the people, with the malignity of the root, so that the good departed away and the evil still abode. So, it was not like the Most High made a mistake, and then basically, you know, he repented of that mistake that he made. No, because before he created the Jacob, before he created everything, he already put that spirit within Adam in order for him to have that wickedness within him by design. As you can see in the book of Romans chapter 8, by design he did that in order for us to choose the good or the bad, because the bad is already in you. Romans chapter 7, Paul said that. There is no good thing that dwelleth in me. I'm telling you, like, I ain't good, bro. You need to move over. If I get that chance, I'm a boy, right? Because certain people will fuck with you. And yeah. Once I'm angry. I'm like, I don't want to go back. I'll be like, nah. You need to pay for that. But anyway, so it says right here, Acts chapter 8, verse 16. The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High. So the Spirit itself, right? What is the Spirit? The Spirit is talking about the Bible. I come below. I come in the volume of the book. It is written of me. Hebrews 10. And then you have the other one, which is John 6. John 1 and 1 and on down. Yahushua is the word, right? But oh yeah, John 6 and 63. That's what I was talking about. But John 1 too. But John 6 and 63, which shows you that the Spirit is the word, right? So Romans 8 and 16, it says, the Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High. So let me read it different now. The Bible itself beareth witness with the spirit that's in our body, because of the things that we went through, according to the book of Deuteronomy 28, where it says that, and let me get it, man. Deuteronomy 28 and 40 or 50, no 40, 46. It says, and they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. So that is that. So the Spirit, so the Bible itself bears witness with us as a nation, with the Spirit that we have within us in the bodies and stuff like that. Those are that's the one that actually bears witness that we are the Jacob descendants, because through process of elimination, you just go down all the nations that would fit those curses and stuff like that, right? And none of the nations fit the curses except for the Jacob descendants, except for the so-called Negros, Latinos, and Indianos. Only they fit the curses. Now you might have poor Edomites and stuff like that. That's because they're two-time losers. And also, if you go back, let me see, 40 years, 50 years, 60, no, a little bit more, all the Edomites were doing good, right? So don't worry about it. If you see a poor Edomite eating out of a garbage can, don't think you're an Israelite. Is it possible? It could be. But I'm not looking at you like that. I'm looking at you like, man, Moses, get you. Got you. Get you. Get him. Anyway. Right, so Romans 8 and 16 again. So the Spirit itself bears witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High. And if children, then joined ears of the Most High, and joined ears with Yahushua. If so be that we suffer with him, that we may be glorified, that we may also be glorified together. Yeah, because we suffer with the Lord Yahushua. That's why you shouldn't be in king's houses or rubbing elbows with the gates of hell. You know, having a meal with George Soros. I'm talking about Gay-Z. He was having a meal with if you Google it, you will see. He had a meal with Bill Snakes, you know, the gates of hell, and then he had another meeting with Soros dude. You know, that if you check out the documentary You Are Amalek, you will see how them Hamites and a lot of people from different countries and stuff like that. You know, them Syrian countries and them Assyrian country, I should say, sorry. That region, I should say. So Syria, Assyria, both Aram and Ashur, those regions, and the Arabians, and of course the Hamites and stuff like that. That's why you have an influx of them being popped up all over the place in Europe, because a lot of them, they ain't making like what, 50 euros a day, and they can still pay a ticket of $2,000. Who did that? Well, George Soros and his cronies. They're the ones that did that. They're the ones that actually bought those tickets for them, because they are the ones that want to break up Esau and the stability that the Edomites have within Europe, and because Amalek believes that they are the Amalekites, which is crazy as hell. They call them Esau, something like that. Esau, funny as hell. So the Amalekites, they call Europe and America, they call it Rome. They call it, I'm recording me. Right, so going on. But yeah, you should check out that documentary. You Are Amalek. Check it on Rumble. You're gonna understand the so-called migrant thing that's going on right now. So-called migrant thing, whatever. You're gonna understand it if you watch that documentary. It's an old documentary from a few years ago, and it's a good one. It's like 4 of them, but only 3 you're gonna find, most likely. The other one, the 4th one, is called Time's Up. You Are Amalek. Yeah, Time's Up. So like Time's Up, you know, Time's Up, comma, You Are Amalek. That one, but they're making sure to take that one away. So yeah, let's not block it, but I don't know, I think they deleted it or something. Often. Anyway, so we shouldn't have that. We should have that Moses mentality, meaning that you shouldn't want to be living with the elites. You would rather be down on the ground level with the rest of the Jacob descendants, instead of living high and mighty with the rest of the elites and stuff like that, you know. For example, you had a lot of Jacob descendants, you have a lot of Jacob descendants that have talents, and then they use them talents in order to actually bump themselves up toward Esau and in the midst of Esau. Anyway, Romans 8:18. For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. Spiritual powers and all these other type of things that come with it. Infinite stamina, infinite power. Infinite stamina, actually. Superpowers, spiritual powers. Doing things with the thoughts, and doing things with the physical body, like super strength. Flying, reading your mind, like Elisha. Right? Waking up the dead, like Elijah and Elisha. And of course, the Lord Yahushua. Right, verse 19. For the earnest expectation of the creature waited for the manifestation of the sons of the Most High. We're waiting for that. But the Edomites are waiting. No, not just not the elites. They're trying to put themselves up in robotic bodies and stuff like that. Trying to transfer their mind into that body, into a robotic body. That's what they want. That's why they have movies or series like Altered Carbon, where they have sleeves and stuff like that. Altered Carbon. Yeah, Altered Carbon is a series on Netflix. You have others too, like Transcendence with Johnny Depp. I like that movie. It's a 2014 movie. I like that movie. It's dope. But yeah, they want to make it seem like they're gonna get that superpower with the power over the internet. That's like Lawnmower Man. So I always liked Lawnmower Man 1. But yeah, that's an old movie now. And the newer form of that is Transcendence. The newer form of that. Anyway, so it says right here. This is the point of me reading all that, by the way, concerning the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 2, Second Ezra chapter 3, where the Most High put that wickedness within him. He kept it within him in order for the Jacob descendants to choose left or right. And we choose left. Right? Well, we chose left. But a lot of them chose right too. Well, not the majority, but a big part of them, not the bigger part, but a big part of the Israelites, they chose the right side. You know, and fight the left every day of their lives, right? So it says verse 20. So Romans 8:20. For the creature was made subject to vanity. That's why people love vain shit. Like gold. Think about it. What are you doing with gold? Food and water is actually more worth than gold. You know, but it's vanity if you think about it. Think about it. Like, what are you gonna do with it? You gonna eat it? You can't eat it, but look, it's beautiful and all that there. It's worth and all that there. But hey, food and water is actually more worth than gold, because once you have that gold, you're gonna use that gold to get that food and water. So it's not vanity, but it's vanity. You know, it's for example, another vanity, fancy, whatever, just fancy stuff up on the planet Earth, man. Like I got this, I got that, I got that. It's all vanity. It's all vain. First and foremost, you're gonna die. We're looking forward to immortality, but I'm just showing you off of what King Solomon said and stuff like that. Like everything here is basically vanity, because you're gonna die anyway, you know, and you're gonna leave it for someone else. And for example, in the book of Luke 12, it explains to you about the rich man that thought that he was balling. He had a lot of stuff, right? So he started to build bigger stuff in order to gather more stuff, and then he died. And then who took the thing? Maybe his enemy. It's just like for example, Michael Jackson, right? He was fighting his whole life trying to keep his stuff out of the hand of Sony. When he died, his family sold that shit to Sony. So that shows you that it was all vanity. Because who got it eventually anyway? Sony. So all that shit you was doing is in vain. When you die, somebody else is going to be in charge over your shit that you done gathered. And then they going to pass it to your enemy. How about that? Same thing with family members. Might have left an inheritance for your children, and then you wanted to give the bigger inheritance to your favorite son or daughter. I'm just giving you an example. I've seen these type of things. And then all of a sudden, you know, they fight amongst each other, and then the ones that you liked the least, and you had a specific reason why you didn't like him, because he was a conniving piece of shit, or she, that's the one that actually ended up with all the things, because they strong-armed the other brother, or they killed him to take the inheritance and stuff like that. You have type of crazy stuff on the planet Earth, boy. But the point is, you know, they're gonna get their judgment, of course, yeah, but still, you breaking your back for it in order for you to build up these so-called riches upon the planet Earth, it's vanity. And the fact that you have it within you to chase it, that's the vanity itself. Instead of realizing like, yo, I got what I got, man. I ain't worried. Why would I be chasing that? If a lot of people was thinking about that and stuff like that, then, hey, the earth would be better. Anyway, let me go on. 20. For the creature was made subject to vanity. So that shows you also we're creatures. because Second Corinthians chapter 5 verse 17 says, if you come into this truth, if you come into Yahushua, you are a new creature. Old things are passed away, done away, and all things are made new. That's also in the book of Wisdom of Solomon chapter 7 with 24 and stuff like that. That says, if you read on down, it says that it is the wisdom that maketh you a friend of the Most High, and the wisdom also makes you a prophet. And then you have Sirach 17, which speaks about the 7 operations of the Most High, 6 understanding and 7 speech. Yeah, and that makes us also just like the angels, as in whom's image we were created. Actually, in the Most High. I created man upright, saith the Most High, but man had sought out many inventions. One of those inventions is sodomite. And you can catch that in the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14. There is where idols came to pass. Idols was actually people. Back in the days, you had a lot of people that had superpowers, man. They others had spiritual powers, like, you know, shouldn't call it spiritual. Call it magic, which is spiritual powers. But they had spiritual powers on the left-hand side. So they did a lot of magical type of powerful things. And then people, you know, saw it, heard about it, and they started to worship them. Because they was like, wow, they got strength. And until this day, you still have it. You have, so this guy, right? He faked being Conor McGregor, and then he went to a beach in America, and then he had glasses on. You had people crying, man. People crying just to meet him, take a picture with him, but it wasn't him. So what does that show you? That shows you Wisdom of Solomon 14 as an example, a visual that you can have here in 2026 AD. Is a visual you can have like, damn, these motherfuckers be worshiping people, man. Crying for a dude, that's not even him. That's even funnier. But they wanted to have a counterfeit. Wisdom of Solomon 14. Let's say a guy was living far away, and he was a great guy of enormous power and strength, whatever, you know? And they wanted to worship him, but he was too far. So then they made a counterfeit of his visage. Yeah? I think it's dirt in the air and shit. A counterfeit of his visage. So they made a statue. And then they started to worship it, man. In his, they wanted to be in his presence, or they wanted him to be in his presence. But he wasn't. Either he was dead or he was far away. And then they made that. And then they started worshiping it. There is where idolism comes from. Neither was it in the beginning, neither shall it be in the end. So all the idol worship and stuff like that is going to be done away with, because the Most High ain't down with that. That's why you had in the book of, I think it's John 11, where you had the wicked Israelites. They was angry that the Lord, they was angry that the Lord Yahushua came and started to take away followers of them, because they said, let me see. So John 11, (48). If we let him thus alone, all men will believe on him, and the Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation. They didn't want to lose the status, because they wanted to be the one that you look up to. They want you to look up to them. They don't want you to look up to the next guy. There's a jealousy, and also because they want to be in that status. They be looking at you like, what the fuck you looking up at him for? I'm greater than that guy. The same thing with the music thing, but that's another story. You know, the music industry, they have a lot of jealousy amongst each other and stuff like that. And then when somebody get more views or something, or more followers, you know, then they get angry, because they want to have those followers. Those are the type of people that wouldn't want the Lord Yahushua to come back and reign, because that would mean that you don't look up to them no more, you know, because they want to be idols. Well, Wisdom of Solomon 14. But let me go on. Romans 8, and 20. For the creature was made subject to vanity, not willingly, but by reason of him who had subjected the same in hope. The Most High did it because he wanted you to have hope that he would send his son eventually to come and save you out of this turmoil. Same thing why he blocked Adam from coming back into the garden. Because he said like, no, or else he gonna know too much and stuff like that. And he's gonna wake up like a god. No, I don't want that. I wanted to go through stages. It's like just like having birth. A woman can't birth 10 babies at the same time or 50. You need to do it in the process of time. You know, you can go to Esau and be like octomom, but that's not natural. Like a natural thing in due process of time. 2 Ezra 5 if I'm correct. Okay. Everything needs to go in the process of time. Everything is good. Next of all. Nothing is wrong. Everything is how it should be. So it says right here, verse 20. I think I already read that. Oh yeah. But by reason of him who have subjected the same in hope. Subject is when you are subjected. Right? When something is over you, like pressure you or push you down or something like that. Right? That's what the Most High did. So we are subject to vanity. You are, when something vain is there and you still desire it because you're subject to it. Unless you really fight against it and stuff like that. So that's the struggle. Because in 2 Ezra 3 it says that how you call him? Adam was overcome. So in Revelation 2 it says that he that overcometh, to him will I give power over the nations, and will give him a rod of iron so that he can break the heathen nations like a potter, like a vessel's pot or potter vessel, something like that. 21. Because the creature itself also shall be delivered from the bondage of corruption into the glorious liberty of the children of the Most High. So we're going to get rid of these bodies that are full of corruption. For example, you see a girl walking, ass is all out, but she's walking with her boyfriend. It's still fucked up. But you might be one to looking at stuff like that, even though you know, like, hey, don't be looking at that shit. And then you catch yourself like, hey, what the fuck's that? You know, just a little bit, just a glance. She's just like a hoe anyway. That's how it gets you. Don't be looking at that shit, man. Me personally, I never do this. What the fuck would I do that for? I look, if you're in front of me, I look. But if I ain't turning, I never like that shit, man. It's weird. And then they get a high fucking thing in their head. Their head is like, ooh, I make heads turn when I walk the street. Bitches be thinking like that. No, I ain't doing that shit. And if you don't do it, they're gonna get angry too. Cause I met the wrath of a few women. I met the wrath of a few chicks, man. I'm telling you. All of a sudden, next time when you see them, they be angry and shit. Like, what are you angry for? She didn't look. You're not trying to bounce on them. So they're offended. What? But that's how you know that you dodged the bullet. I'm gonna give you an example. Let's say you did jump on her, and then you got a child, but she has the malignity within her, so, or you're gonna go to hell. So it's best that you just actually, basically not pounce on them right now, to see how they would react, if they would get angry or start treating you different. They're gonna treat you different. You know, first, you know, you so-called friends. I put women in the friend zone right then and there if I meet them. I put them in the friend zone. Why? Just to see what's really going. That's not testing, man. Well, it's not even testing. It's like, hey, let me see how you are. You know, you get to know these stupids, and then you know, then you find out like, whoa, boy, if I had a baby with you, I'd be in hell right now. You're gonna have to pay. You're gonna have to do this. You're gonna have to do, boy. So it's best for you to put their ass in the friend zone to see how they are and be around them. I ain't trying to fuck bitches, man. You know, you got dudes that be like, I'm gonna hit that one day and you do your thing, man. To get that power, I'm gonna come for you. Hey, that's adultery. Get him. Do your fun thing, but I ain't worried about that. Worried about my motherfucking self. Anyway, so it says right here, because the creature itself also shall be delivered from the bondage of corruption into the glorious liberty of the children of the Most High. But we know how that the whole creation, even the heathen, groaneth and travaileth in pain together until now. Because back in the days, the animals used to eat meat. In the book of Genesis, it explains that. And then, you know, when Adam sinned, then all the plants, not all the plants, but certain plants started to grow thorns. And now, when you touch it, you bleed. You know? And then, in the kingdom, I think it's in the book of Isaiah 11, where it says that it shall come full circle again. The lion is going to eat grass again, and the wolf and the lamb, they're both going to eat grass again and stuff like that, eat grass, and all that there. So that's going to come back. And if you're probably wondering, like, where does it say that? Let me see. Where's that again? Thorns. So it says Genesis 3 and 17. It's, oh yeah, the women also. Back in the days, they just give birth, boom. But then through the curses, they started to have pain. But anyway, 17. And unto Adam the Most High said, it says, unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for thy sake, in sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life. Right? Thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herb of the field. In the sweat of thy face thou shalt eat bread, till thou return unto the ground, for out of it thou wast taken. For dust thou art, and unto dust thou shalt return. So, but that's one part. And then the other part was, where is it again? It shall be meat unto thee, sorry. So Genesis 9 and Genesis 9 and 3. Every moving thing that liveth shall be meat for you, even as the grass, even as the green herb have I given you all things. But flesh with the life therein, which is the blood thereof, ye shall not eat. But there's another one. Oh, sorry. Genesis 1. I was at 9. Genesis 1 and 29. And the power said, let me see. And the power said, and the power said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in which the fruit of the tree yielding seed, to you it shall be for meat. So all the plants and all that type of stuff, right? Seeds. Verse 30. And let me read 29 again. And the power said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree, in the which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat. That's one. And then verse 30. And to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is life, I have given every herb for meat, and it was so. So if you read those two verses, you will understand like, oh, even the animals was eating the herbs and stuff like that. All the beasts, they was eating the greenery. And then later on, after the curses came in Genesis 3, and then in Genesis 9, we were allowed to eat meat basically, but not the blood. Not blood. Meat. Just the food, cooking and stuff like that. And that's that part. So the Most High is going to bring that back, by the way. Isaiah chapter 11, where it speaks about the beast, the lion, and the other beast, which is the wolf. They're going to eat with the lamb and with the ox. They're going to just eat grass. Right. Okay, let me go back to where I actually wanted to be. Let me see something. Yeah. So the plant started to get thorns and thistles and stuff like that. But hey, wait. Let me go back to where I was. Romans 8:21. Because the creature itself also shall be delivered from the bondage of corruption unto the glorious liberty of the children of the Most High. 22. For we know that the whole creation groaneth and travaileth in pain altogether. Together until now. So since the beginning until now, they're groaning in pain. 2 Corinthians chapter 5, desiring to be clothed upon with the vessels from heaven. That's what the Jacob descendants desire, and they're gonna get it, but not the heathen nations. It was a yeah. Verse 22. For we know 23. So Romans 8:23. And not only they, but ourselves also. So not only the ones that were teaching, but the apostles themselves. So that the apostles is talking here, of course, right? Not just the one that they were teaching, but also themselves. Also, which have the first fruits of the Spirit, because those are the ones that have the first fruits. They're the ones that got this word first, the apostles, and of course the prophets, and then you had the teachers. 1 Corinthians 12 is in order. So it says here, even we ourselves groan within ourselves, waiting for the adoption of Yahushua, to wit, the redemption of our body. He's the one that will set up our body in order to be as glorious like his body. Philippians chapter 3 and the 2 last verses. Right, verse 24. Yeah, Romans 8:24. We are saved by hope, but hope that is seen is not hope. What if a man seeth? Why doth he yet hope for? For what a man seeth, why does he yet hope for? That's why the Most High put it up in us for hope's sake, so that you hope that you would get it. And he put that faith. Basically, he made you choose for that faith. To have faith, either to have or to have not, right? So now going to Romans, Romans 8:25. But if we hope for that we see not, then do we with patience wait for it. That's all you need to do upon this planet Earth. Just wait. I ain't trying to do nothing. I'm just waiting. If I get it, you're gonna know about it. And if I don't, you're one of the luckiest people. You're lucky. I'll tell you that. You're lucky. That's all I can say. Oh man, you lucky. Oh, I was planning to do stuff with you. You lucky. But anyway, so it says right here, 26. Likewise, the Spirit also helpeth our infirmities, which is the same thing that the Most High kept permanent within the bloodline of Adam. Oh, also in Jacob, but in the bloodline of Adam, all the way to Jacob, all the way to us right now here. All nations, by the way, have it within them. You know. Likewise, the Spirit also helpeth our infirmities. What this is the Spirit, this is the scriptures, and the Spirit itself of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. You know, you start to get feelings and stuff like that. You know what? I don't think I should be doing it. And for example, I know a lot of people, like in my family and stuff like that. Like, you know, people outside of the family also, just people that I, you know, that I come across, and you know, we got the same type of rules and stuff like that. Don't eat slippery fish. You know, don't eat the shrimp and all that type of stuff. Hey. I had a dream today that this is the second time. Last week this happened too. I was talking and I had that dream about that like insects in the food. Now I know I dreamt today that I was busy with something, and then I saw shrimp in the food. I don't eat on the street anyway, but you know, this might show me like, hey, need to double watch out with the food and stuff like that, because I was eating and then I saw shrimp in the food. That is crazy. That's funny. Anyway, so yeah, I was taught not to eat shrimp and stuff like that. Taught not to, you know, hang around women that are on their period. Boy, I ain't even talking about sex. With period women. That's just that should be a normal thing. But I found out when I came here that it's not a normal thing for a lot of people that are born here, or they come from other countries and stuff like that. They still do it. Then they Jake, I'm looking at them like, man, crazy. Pussy eaters. I don't want to mock people, man, but I mock the shit out of people with that one. But hey, do your thing, man. It's between you and your girl. Just don't put your mouth on my spoons. I'm just playing. To a certain degree. Likewise, the Spirit also helped with our infirmities. Likewise, the Spirit also helped with our infirmities. So the bad things that we're going through, the Spirit itself helps us. Like either the Spirit of the Heavenly, both of them. But I mean, like sometimes it's the Spirit of the Heavenly Father, like the invisible one, which helps you, and sometimes it's the Scriptures. Anyway, so for we know not what we should pray as we ought, like how we should, right? But the Spirit itself make an intercession for us with groanings which cannot be uttered. So the infirmities that have been given unto Adam, well, the Spirit helps us with that with those infirmities. You know, the malignity that you have within you is going to remind you of scriptures. You're just going to hear scriptures. You know, you're going to hear some, or you're going to see some, be like, hey, you're right. Oh, you're right. Right about that one. Right about that one. Right? So, okay, I'm going to stop this one here. So that goes into the reason why it looks as if the Most High, well, it doesn't look like that to me, but I talk to people. Same people. They say like, hey, wait a minute, there's a contradiction. It's not a contradiction. You don't understand what you understand is what you just read? No, they don't. So anyway, that's a form of it, but that's a form of the explanation to where you could see like, oh no, he did not repent as if he made a mistake or as if he didn't know what was going on. He already preordained it for us to go off. And you can explain it with, you know, a spoiled brat that didn't grow up good and doesn't know the hardship of life, and then he takes everything for granted. A lot of people, for example, they got a girl that is, you know, so-called faithful and stuff like that, just a cool chick, and then they do a lot of things to mess it up, and then all of a sudden, you know, that girl leaves, and now they're crying because only when they miss it, only when it's not there, then they start, you know. Then they start crying because they don't have it anymore. You know, you should cherish what you have, or at least be aware of it, and imagine not having it. You know, so right. So